You're too far from the water.
It's just like I do a miss when I always try to hit.
Don't pull it up.
Oh my god!
Hello, and welcome to Captain Jimmy's Tarpon Feeding Experience. We hope you'll enjoy discovering what has taken 30 years to establish here in the heart of downtown Miami at Bayside Marketplace. It all started back in 1987 when our founder, Captain Jimmy Lewis, a local bait fisherman, pulled a hook and leader out of a dying tarpon's mouth. He expected this tarpon to leave and never come back, but was surprised when he saw the same tarpon back the very next day. Jimmy began feeding this tarpon to nurse him back to health, and lo and behold, he never left. Before long, more tarpons started showing up. Since then, we've been feeding wild tarpon nearly every day and made it what it is today. What is tarpon feeding, you might ask? Tarpon feeding is quite simply the act of feeding tarpon, the large fish commonly found in marinas and shallow waterways. Here at our tarpon feeding experience, however, we like to feed them by hand. Despite these fish's massive size, being able to weigh well over 200 pounds, tarpon are relatively harmless. Due to their diet of small fish and crustaceans, their teeth are very small, similar to fine sandpaper. That means no lost fingers or limbs. We're not the only place to do this, but we are the only place that can guarantee there will be no horror stories after a feeding. We've worked with our tarpon for well over 20 years, and this has led to a much more docile and personal feeding experience. Unlike in other places where tarpon feeding can be found and fed in such a way that tarpon feeding might get a bad rep. Our tarpon can distinguish your hand from a fish and do not seek to bite you thinking you're food. Our tarpon live in Bayside and continue to come back year after year to grow and feed at our dock. For those that are still a bit nervous, or for themselves or for their children, fear not, this is what makes us different from the other guys.
We're in the water.
We have developed what we call the T-handle. This homemade device acts as an extension of your arm and guarantees that you don't have to touch any fish and will never be touched by our tarpon if you don't want to be. It's 100% safe and guarantees that anyone can enjoy this experience. We've worked hard to make sure that our tarpon are protected here at Bayside, and we like to see the same tarpon come back day after day, with hopefully some new members as well. Our bond with these tarpon is quite personal, and these guys are treated like family here. There's nothing like feeding a tarpon that weighs over 250 pounds, but here at our dock, you can hand feed Goliath, our oldest and largest tarpon yet, who will happily let you feed him. It is our pleasure to showcase these wild sport fish and teach visitors and locals alike that there's a lot more to these magnificent creatures than just their ability to jump. And with the environment we've created here at Bayside, there's no better place to do so. If you're visiting from out of town, looking for something fun and exciting, or just something different, then I urge you to come down and try our tarpon feeding. We guarantee it's one of the coolest things you'll ever do.